Hello and welcome to another LEGO set review. This is a first for me because it's the first of the Botanical collection that I have got my hands on. I've been wanting to get this for a while and I was lucky enough to get it as a birthday present from my other half, so thank you. This is set 10281 Bonsai Tree. This set's been out for a while, and as I mentioned, I've had my eye on it. It comes at a normal price here in the UK of £45 for 878 pieces. Now, on paper, that sounds like a really good deal, but what you have to remember is that 200 of those pieces are 1x1 round tiles in 4 different colours, which make up the soil in the the plant pot, and another 100 of those are actually pink frogs, which make up the cherry blossom. This is one of 2 different types of foliage that you can put on the tree, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about buying this set. I would say that actually, given the artistic and display value of it, it's still a good price, although it doesn't have any minifigures, and that might put some people off. However, I'm a big fan of it, and I'm really interested to talk about it. Just move the camera back a little bit so you can get everything in view. As I mentioned, this is one of 2 variations of the foliage that you get in the set. This is the cherry blossom version. It also comes with a standard green version, which I will show you a little bit later. This is actually the version you build second, but I think it might be my favourite. The use of the pink frogs is a really funny little, well, it's not even really an Easter egg, is it? It's right there in your face, but I think it works well. Yeah, this is an odd LEGO set in a way. Along with the other Botanicals collection, it's trying to actually represent something in the real world, sort of at 1-to-1 scale. Bonsai trees are quite small. It may be possibly a little on the large side. I don't have any great experience with bonsai, so I can't say for sure. But certainly to the untrained eye, or somebody who's just looked at it for a second, you could actually think that this is a real bonsai for a second. It comes in a couple of distinct parts, so we'll just take a quick look at the base that goes underneath it. This is a pretty simple construction. It's almost entirely made out of reddish-brown pieces with a few dark brown pieces underneath. It's pretty sturdy, uses a lot of tiles on the top. It's not coming apart super easily, and it makes a nice stylish stand for the main pot to go on top of. I'll pop this to one side just because it isn't really the focus of the set. Of course, this is. So you start by building the pot, as you would expect. I won't tilt this too much because the 1x1 round tiles in there are actually loose. It's one of the few times I've actually experienced that on a set where the instructions are just mix these together and tip them out, which is quite fun to do, but a little bit nerve-wracking, and you've got to be careful not to jog it. Although, you know, give it a little bit of shake, it's not going anywhere. The pot itself is almost entirely black. It uses these Ninjago spinner pieces with tyres on them on all 4 corners to act as feet. I believe actually the set originally came with some Technic parts with thicker tyres around them, but at some point they've changed the design and updated the instructions. Yeah, so it's a really elegant design. Build the pot first, and then you build the base of the tree and then fill it with this soil here. You would think that it's an unusual thing to do. We've actually got tiles in the sort of, I can't remember what the exact name is, but it's basically the flesh colour of white-skinned minifigures. You've got some in medium nougat, it's very difficult to get them out, some in olive green, and some in dark tan as well, so a whole mix of colours, but I think they actually blend quite nicely together for that soil effect. The tree itself is made out of 2 shades of brown, so we've got the reddish brown and the dark brown. There's actually one more frog just hiding there in reddish brown, like a chocolate frog. And the build of the tree itself is quite simple, goes together quite quickly, and you do have to be a little bit careful when putting it together, and you definitely want to make sure everything is nice and fixed before you put the soil in, because if anything comes off again, it's a little tricky to put it back. The actual limbs of the tree are all made differently. They use these pieces here, which are still relatively new, these large 2x2 macaroni pieces, which are fixed together with Technic axles in the middle. They're built up slightly differently on each one, and the overall effect looks really organic and really nice. What I'll show you now is how you swap these pieces out for the more standard green foliage. What's great about this is that you don't just get extra leaves, you actually get extra ends to the branches. So you might be able to see just here that there's actually the end of a Technic axle there into this piece, which means that you can slot the whole assembly on. I'm going to try and do this live on camera without breaking anything. There we go, so that's one bit off. You might find that it actually leaves these Technic axle pins behind, but they're very easy to pull out and plug back in again. Pop the others off. So there are basically 3 identical assemblies which go on each of the 3 main limbs. I think this is becoming more the norm than an exception. We'll just try and pop these off quickly without doing too much damage. And the final one, yeah, these pins do like to stay behind, which is a bit of a shame. Could have come up with a slightly better design. And then you've got one final one on the top, which is a little bit different. It's just held on by a bar, comes off like that. Put those to one side. And then we'll do the thing in reverse. So we've got a replacement, which is just in green. That goes on like that. And yeah, that's what I mentioned. You've got to be really careful because, as you can see, the trunk just came apart because I put too much pressure on it. It's actually held in place only by a couple of plates on the back there. It's relatively simple to put back into place once it's come off, but because of all the soil around in the pot, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So I'll just fix that and get back to you. Okay, just had to do a minor amount of tree surgery there, dug the tree up and then repotted it. Yeah, that's a little bit of a pain there, I have to say, with all the 1x1 tiles around. But I think there's no real other way they could have created the same effect. I'm sure some people have modified it so that the tiles are actually stuck down, but I'm going to leave it as is at the moment. So just be careful if you've got this and you're going to be swapping over the branches. Right, I'm going to carry on and I'm going to try not to break anything else. Yeah, like I said, we've then just got 3 identical sets of leaves, which all get fixed in with these Technic axles, one by one. The good thing about these is you can build them, you know, sort of all at once, but then there's enough movement within them, like you can see just there, so you can twist things around, give everything its own sort of life. And there we go, that gives us the green foliage version, which you know, some people are going to prefer. I think my mood changes, which is good because it gives you some variety, and you can have what you want, or in fact you can make your own mixture of the two, or actually, as per the instructions, you can try something of your own. If we just take a look at the instruction booklet, you'll see something in here which I don't think I've actually seen in LEGO instructions, at least not for quite a while. And that's, you know, basically an instruction to make your own. And you can see one here with piece separators, a smaller version, a tropical one, some sort of sci-fi version. There's basically loads of ideas here. They've definitely said inspirational models, not actually part of the set, just in case you didn't realise. But I think it's really cool, actually, that they've given you the idea to make your own. Obviously, a lot of people, that's what LEGO is for, but for a lot of others, they just like to get the sets, and I think there's especially been focus on that directly from LEGO more recently. I can remember some of the early Harry Potter and Star Wars sets, for instance, had alternate build ideas. They wouldn't give you instructions for them or anything, they were just pictures on the back of the box and you could try and make them. They were usually not that great, but they were an interesting starting point anyway. In fact, I can show you that right now. This was another birthday present, which actually came from my brother, which is a sealed copy of set 4726, which is one of the original Harry Potter sets, which is this set. This is the official set on the front here. It's a Quidditch stand with some hoops, but then on the back it actually shows you can build it with a wall along there and a little stand for the box and a table and things. You know, it doesn't give you the instructions, but it's at least a starting point. Nice little Easter egg for people there. Let me know if you remember that set from back in the day. I actually have another copy of that I got at the time and is open and scattered amongst my collection. But anyway, back to the bonsai. So yeah, it would be really interesting to see what other people come up with. I know that Brickset, for instance, has done an article, I think it was Brickset, it might be New Elementary. I'll try and link it down below, where they showed people's, you know, different versions of the bonsai tree. And I think it's a really good jumping off point for people to make their own creations. So yeah, a little bit of a rambling review there. It's one of those sets where there's a lot to talk about, but most of it is just look how nice it looks. And not a lot in terms of the build itself, although that was an interesting build. It does go together quite quickly. The pot uses a lot of snot building, which comes together really nicely. There's a lot of pieces underneath that aren't actually black, but you'd never be able to tell. And yeah, I think the whole thing looks very elegant. So I don't know if I'm going to be getting any more of the Botanicals range. This is the one that really spoke to me. It's actually the first of these sets that I've got that come in their black box. Thankfully, not the black-backed instructions, which were a terrible idea, and I am glad that they've got rid of them. But yeah, this looks really nice. I think it's the perfect choice. It's not actually, I know it is listed as 18+. I don't think it's really an 18+ rated set. I think they just do that for the kind of exclusivity. So if you are interested in this set and can get it for a little bit of a discount, I'd say it's definitely worth it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please leave a like down below, comment, and I will always do my best to get back to you. If you want to support me, I do have a Patreon, which I will link in the description as well, and it'll help me get out some of these videos maybe a little bit quicker. So I will see you very soon, and until then, have a good one. Bye.